Okay, what's up, YouTube? You know what it is. It's Pacey2K coming at you again one more time. About to give you another video. Remember to leave a like, remember to share, remember to subscribe. Also, turn notifications. Check out my social media. Links are in the description. They're also at the bottom of this video. So, what I want to talk about today is a 2K25 suggestion, and this is courtesy of NBA Elite 11. Now, NBA Elite 11 was a game that was developed by EA in 2010, and it was the successor to NBA Live 10. Now, this game was essentially supposed to be one of the more revolutionary basketball games according to EA. EA had so much hype about this game. I remember when this game came out, when it was announced, there was so much hype, and the fact that EA said they were going to essentially put the controls in your hands, and they're going to take the ball right out of they're going to separate the ball from the hands, and they're going to essentially make everything physics based, and you're going to have more control over what you want to do. Nothing's going to be nothing's going to be predetermined. There's going to be a physics engine and all this other stuff, right? They said they wanted to add more control, give more control to the user over the game, over what happens in the game. So this game does have a lot of elements of that. It does show a lot of elements of that. There is a very elaborate skill-based mechanic within this game, and I will be talking about it a little bit. I'll be showing you a few things as I skip through this gameplay. Now, this is recorded gameplay from my PS3. Now, a lot of people may wonder, how was I able to get NBA Elite 11 on PS3? Now, obviously, you have to jailbreak your PS3, and because this is YouTube, I can't really speak on exactly how I was able to get NBA Elite 11. So you guys gonna have to do your research and find out about that. But essentially, you just need a jailbreak PS3 and somehow get your hands on NBA Elite 11. But anyways, without further ado, let's get it started. So as you can see, there's a create your player mechanic here, and essentially, what this is. You can create your player, you can put in your vital information, and you could also customize your player's appearance, stuff like that. It's a very simple mechanic, but it does exist because there is a become a pro mode. I think it was become a pro mode or something like that. But essentially it's similar to my career, and so as you can see, this is the game. Now, obviously, as you can see, that's my player right there that I just created, and this kind of shows you some of the graphics of the game. Now, obviously, this is a tutorial mode. On the left side of the screen is showing you the tutorial, what you need to do. So it's giving you what you need to do on the sticks, right? It's showing you exactly what you need to do. So you need to just replicate that so that you can learn how to do the different moves, the different dribble moves. So this is a dribble move tutorial in particular, right? So now I'm gonna get to the shooting. So the one thing that EA, as I spoke about earlier, they made the shooting 100% skill based, right? So essentially, they were the first ones to introduce skill-based shooting. NBA Elite 11 was the first one to introduce skill-based shooting, because I remember back in the day, even with 2K11, 2K10, even up to 2K15, I mean, shooting was still the old style where everything was predetermined. You did have a timing system, but even if you timed it perfectly, it didn't determine whether or not the shot actually went in. There was nothing to determine whether or not that shot would go in. It was still randomly going in and out. So the thing is, this game was the first game to actually introduce that mechanic of, being able to make your shot anytime with just skill, right? So as long as you can develop your skills, you was gonna make that shot every single time. And that was new at the time. Obviously 2K adopted it. They have a simpler version of it, which I'm going to kind of elaborate on more. But essentially 2K did implement that in their game. but this is an even more elaborate version. So let me show you exactly what's going on. All right, so you see what went on just right now. So you move the right stick straight up, right? Then you release the shot. You release that right stick at the top of the player's jump shot, right? So, you saw it right there, straight up on the right stick. And, so what this incorporated, unlike 2K, it incorporated aiming. So not only did you have to release the stick at the right time, you also had to aim it properly. So that's what is going on right there. Now 2K did have an aiming mechanic in previous 2Ks, which they got rid of because there was cheating going on. But there was an aiming mechanic in past 2Ks. I do remember that existing as a feature. But this game actually combined the timing mechanic with the aiming mechanic, to make, shooting just a little bit more difficult, add a little bit more skill to the shooting. And I think this is something that 2K can add. This is a suggestion. This is the main crux of what I wanted to suggest to 2K is some kind of additional difficulty to the shooting. I do think that shooting is easy in 2K. It's a little bit arcadey, especially in the park. You seeing dudes just pull up from 40 like 5 times in a row and making it. I think with 2K, once you kind of master your shot, it's pretty much over. Once you turn that shot meter off and you kind of remember that animation, you'll make that shot every single time. And that's not really realistic. That's not how real life works. Even the best players in the world miss wide open shots. So there should be more of a difficulty in, you being able to make a shot. And I think that adding aiming, combining the ability to aim as well as the timing, being able to time your shot properly, I think that would be something that would add more difficulty to shooting, and it wouldn't have people just being able to make every single shot. Like I see, like you have a lot of people that's just able to just make every single shot, like in the parks. I mean, because I've tested it out too. That once you turn that shot meter off, you get that boost, and essentially you can make every shot, man. Like you just remember that. You just remember that animation, right? You see, dudes pulling up in the park from 40, 50 feet and making it every single time. That's not really realistic. And I know the park is a little bit arcadey. I get it. It's supposed to be a little bit arcadey. But I do think that there should be a level of realism when it comes on to shooting. Adding more difficulty like this and adding a different skill curve to it, I think would be good. So I do like this feature that EA added. So yeah, so let's just kind of watch this a little bit more. So again, I missed the shot that time because I didn't time it properly, right? Didn't time the shot properly. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much that. Now I did do some other tutorials, right? So the layup was a little bit tricky. Now if you look at your left hand side of the screen, you'll actually see the motion that you need to perform on the sticks to do the layup. So you want to drive to the rim, then you want to move the right stick left or right, and then you want to twist it in a 45-degree angle, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. So that's what I was trying to do. Made a whole bunch of mistakes until I figured it out. So let's kind of watch this. So as you can see, kept on making mistakes. Also because NBA Live isn't able to recognize context, it kept on thinking that I wanted to do a jump shot rather than a layup because it's not recognizing that I'm trying to dribble towards the rim. 2K obviously has the ability to recognize context where if you're driving towards the rim and it's an open lane, nobody's protecting the rim, guarding the rim, it will know that you're trying to do a layup, even if you're, a little bit of a distance away from the basket. NBA allows not you to do that. They, have you do a jump shot because the game was not finished. The game was underdeveloped and it couldn't recognize the context of what I was trying to do. But it was really hard to do these layups. I mean, it was really tough, man. Like I was, making so much mistakes with just doing the whole layups. There we go. See, I finally made it. I made one there, but then it took, you got to make two to finish the tutorial. and I just couldn't make it, man. I kept on missing my layups. It was funny as hell, man. I was missing the layups, man. It was like, but it does show you that there is a skill thing with it, just like real life in a way, though. You know what I'm saying? And I do like this. I do you adding skill and just kind of making the game a little bit more for challenge, making life a little bit more difficult. Just even just learning how to make a layup, right? There's a certain level of skill that it takes to actually get to that point, right? It's just like in real life, because in real life it's not easy to make a layup. I mean, if you don't know how to play basketball, you still miss layups, right? So there's a certain level of skill that that this is really showing. And took me a while to figure this out. Like, there we go, I was missing again. See, I was trying, but I kept on missing the target, right? I kept on going way too far with my, with how far I was turning the right stick. Then obviously this is the dunk, so you move the right stick straight up, right, and you kind of hold it. You drive to the rim, then you move the right stick straight up. But the thing is, again, because the game is not able to recognize context, it's not able to recognize that I'm driving to the rim, so it will still pull me up for a jump shot at times. See, right there, it's pulling me up for a jump shot. Now in 2K, it would have recognized that I was trying to do a dunk, and it would send me into the dunk animation. So I got to get closer to the rim, and there we go. So but again, skill. Everything is so skill based. Nothing. Everything is controllable. And there's a certain level of learning curve and difficulty to everything. Right now, this is this dunk switch. Right, so switching from the dunk to the layup. So it was just something. It was just getting used to the sticks and getting used to how the game kind of interpreted everything. Now there is no sprint button in this game, and that's something that's a problem. Like, especially when you're playing games against the CPU, it's hard to get to the rim because there's no way to sprint. So they're showing some defensive stuff here. I want to kind of move on from this and show you. So I essentially was playing a little bit with Kobe, but essentially, yeah, there's no sprint button in this game, so there's no way to sprint, which was an element of the fact that that was again showing you that this game was not ready. I mean, it was underdeveloped. EA pushed this game. Remember, EA made this game from the ground up, right? They made this game from the ground up. This game was not a game because they essentially scrapped NBA Live 10. They got rid of everything for NBA Live 10, all the assets, everything for NBA Live 10, and they decided to make a completely new basketball game. So this game came all the way from the ground up. They built this game from nothing, right? Because they essentially wanted to scrap all the bad stuff, the bad animation. They came with a completely new engine, a physics engine, everything. So essentially, the game was unfinished. It wasn't ready. There's no sprint button. The animations are trash. You're not able. It's hard to get to the rim because you're not able to explode off the dribble. Even if you were doing their crossovers and stuff like that. So it was really a weird game to play. But this is showing a little bit of Kobe. I did play a little bit with Kobe, and the one thing I want to show is just his jump shot animation. I do think that NBA Live, NBA Elite, both these games did a good job on Kobe's jump shot animation. As you can see, very smooth. Kobe looking jump shot animation. I think 2K has always struggled with Kobe's jump shot animation, even to this day. The jump shot animation for Kobe looks a little bit suspect. It doesn't really fully look like Kobe's jump shot. But this game definitely replicates that. You can see very smooth looking Kobe's jump shot right there. So that's something I want to point out. And obviously, I was using the skill based shooting to make my shots. And you know, now this is a game that I was playing. Now this is a Lakers versus Celtics, but now if you guys remember in 2010, the Lakers versus the Celtics faced off in the finals, so that's why this game, that's the first two teams that show up, so I decided to play this game. So let's check out some gameplay footage of that. So I mean, I was trying to still get used to controls. I mean, the right trigger is to pass, right? It was so weird. R2, you use R2 to pass. It's really confusing, right? Having to use R2 to pass. I mean, confusing. Obviously, that's so unintuitive, and they change the whole control schemes, everything. So the only way to get to the paint, you would have to essentially uh the only way to get to the paint is that you would have to just pass in the post, because as I said, there's no sprint button, and you can't really explode off the dribble with a guy like a Kobe to get to the rim. So you'd be relegated to shooting a whole bunch of jump shots. So that's what you're gonna see in this game. I'm just gonna have to shoot jump shots. I'm trying to get to the rim, but there's no way, because I can't even sprint. I can't explode off the dribble, right? So there was a lot of steals and stuff like that. So the game was just not was there. Right, the game was just not ready. That's why they canceled it. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know about the Andrew Bynum meme, the Andrew Bynum T pose in the middle of the court. Andrew, basically the Jesus meme back in the day. Andrew Bynum standing up in the middle of the court like Jesus, with a T pose. I remember Hard Eight Times was the first YouTuber to drop a video about that. And I don't know if that's what made Hard Eight Times famous, because ever since then that man blew up, man. But that was one of the funnier moments in basketball gaming history. The Andrew Bynum Jesus post. You guys can search it up. It was hilarious. But that's what was. This was a game of memes. A game of jokes. People was literally laughing at this game. It was crazy, man. So this game was just horrible, in so many ways. Game was just not ready, and people made it known that this game was complete trash. And I think EA saw all that. They saw the negative reviews, because there was a demo put out for this game. There was actually a demo put out for this game, but EA saw all the negative reviews. They saw exactly what everybody was saying, and I think that's why I decided to cancel the game, because the game was already made. As you can see, I have the full game here. This is the full basketball game that was already made, right? But EA decided to cancel it because they recognized, there was no point of putting something like this out, even in 2011. I mean, 2K11 was the best 2K. This was never gonna compete, So remember, 2K11 back then, they had Michael Jordan on the cover, right? And that was a game. They had like a whole Michael Jordan challenge mode and all that. And that was the glory days of 2K, right? When 2K actually cared about making basketball games, when 2K actually cared about the fans, when 2K wasn't so money hungry and greedy. That was an era before VC, before virtual currency, before microtransaction. So it was a different time period, and EA was never gonna compete with 2K with this nonsense. So yeah, but as I said, the shooting mechanics, the layup mechanics, the layup controls, the difficulty of doing things, making shots, layups, skill based. I do think that that's something that 2K can take from this game in terms of improving their game, making it a little bit more difficult, adding more of a learning curve to doing things in the game, more skill based mechanic. I do think that something like that would be beneficial long term for an NBA 2K. But that's the only suggestion from this game that I'm giving 2K. Everything else in this game was complete garbage. It was complete trash. But let me know what you guys think, and have a great day. Pacey 2K signing out. Peace.